Now for our Round the Globe series. Today we are heading to the continent of Africa for a look at a country filled with mystery, amazing structures, rich in kings, and home to some really delicious food. Here's our pal, Raf Sanchez.
Welcome to Egypt. Home to some of the most exciting mysteries from our past and some of the most important questions about our future. It's a place rich with history, beautiful landscapes, and great food. Let's get started. Humans have been living in Egypt for tens of thousands of years, longer than almost anywhere else on Earth. And around 5,000 years ago, they built these, the mighty pyramids of Giza.
How did the ancient Egyptians build their pyramids?
We still don't really know how they made such huge structures without modern equipment. But for much of human history, these were the tallest buildings on Earth. And we do know the pyramids were giant tombs with hidden chambers inside to bury ancient kings and queens. Before burial, the royal bodies were wrapped carefully in cloth. We call those wrapped bodies mummies.
Why did the ancient Egyptians create mummies?
They believed in keeping the body safe so the soul could live on in the afterlife, a new life after a person dies.
This was once the site of an ancient temple. Mummies were brought here for blessing before they were buried, the last stop on their journey to the afterlife.
They stored the mummies in beautiful coffins like this one. And instead of using letters, ancient Egyptians wrote with pictures called hieroglyphics.
Each letter in hieroglyphics has a symbol. We use letters and they use pictures.
Exactly. They used pictures. And this is why the hieroglyphic in a tomb is beautiful. It's like a scene because of the way of how the artist can draw the pictures in a beautiful way.
One of the most famous mummies, King Tut or Tutankhamun.
Is it true that King Tut was the youngest pharaoh?
Yes, it's true. King Tut was just 8 years old when he became a pharaoh or ruler, one of the youngest ever in Egypt.
How many people are in Egypt?
Today, Egypt is home to 100 million people. But because most of the country is desert, almost all Egyptians live along the banks of the River Nile. The Nile is the lifeblood of Egypt, always has been. More than 4,000 miles long, the Nile is one of the longest rivers in the world and is used for trade, transport, and of course, water. But with climate change, it's important to use the Nile's water carefully and make sure there's enough for future generations to grow food. Speaking of food, it's a big deal in Egypt, and you had a lot of questions about it.
What foods do people in Egypt eat on special occasions?
We went to the Zuba restaurant in Cairo to find out.
Kushari is one of our favorite. It's our national dish. It contains rice, lentils, chickpeas, pasta, noodles, and there is tomato sauce, those fried onion. So it's perfect for every age. Like adults love it, kids loves it. So it's really good.
Another favorite among kids?
It's shawarma.
Shawarma is a kind of meat sandwich. It comes in pita bread with hummus and vegetables inside.
Most of the time it's made like fresh chicken. It's cut perfectly. It has a lot of good sauces. I like the way it's made.
They say that if you drink from the water of the Nile, you'll always come back to Egypt. And with so many ancient secrets still to learn, there's a whole lot of exploring left to do.